Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of the Game of Thrones podcast. I'm your host, Carmine of RedTeamReview, and I'm joined here once again by Mr. Trey the Explainer. Hello, Trey.
Hello, Carmine. It's good to be here.
For those of you wondering, Preston will be a bit busy with work these next few weeks, so Trey has volunteered to come on and help me out, so thank you to him. But as always, guys, welcome back to the Game of Thrones podcast, or should I say the unofficial Game of Thrones podcast, since HBO is deciding to do their own thing. But yeah, you guys know the drill. We're available on SoundCloud, iTunes, Spotify, all that jazz, so consider checking us out on those platforms, and if you do check us out there, then please leave us a review. It helps out a lot. And make sure to leave a comment below. We may cover it in the next episode. Okay. Mr. Trey, We're here to talk about episode 1 of season 2 of House of Dragoon. I know you and Preston were on stream briefly before I jumped on, but I want to jump straight into this one because it's the one everybody's been talking about. You didn't like Blood and Cheese.
Yeah. I think I showed up on Preston's stream, and I think my first thing was like, they botched it. I was a bit disappointed, and I think it could have been stronger, I guess I'll say.
What would you have changed? Because I actually have those feelings for the northern scenes, even though they're like 5 minutes. Like, I feel as though like they could have changed quite a bit, and you guys' nitpicks actually helped sway my opinion on the northern scenes, because once you really think about it, it's all fucking ridiculous. That, I don't know if you guys talked about this, because maybe I wasn't there yet. Did you guys talk about how it was ridiculous that Cregan is alluding that he kinda knows about the White Walkers?
Yeah, that was weird. I don't know how he would know about those, just by Old Nan? Pre-Old Nan telling him the stories? Yeah, he acted like he had deeper knowledge.
He did. He acted like he knew what was coming, but he was too. Maybe he didn't want to tell Jace because maybe Rhaenyra or Jace hadn't known about it, and he'd sound like a crazy person. So he was on the fence. But before we get to that, I'm sorry, I'm jumping the gun all over the place because I actually really enjoyed the episode. So Blood and Cheese, what would you have changed about it?
I would have kept in the Sophie's Choice aspect. I think that's probably the biggest thing for me. If for people that don't know, Sophie's Choice, it's like a movie in the olden days or whatever, where a woman has to choose between her son, her daughter. She has to choose one of her kids has to die, which is what is in the Fire and Blood, right? That's what the Blood and Cheese makes her do.
They also play a cruel little like not prank, but a cruel joke. Cruel game on her where they ask her to pick one of the sons and they instead kill the other one.
Yeah, that's the thing, is like it's so horrific and like psychologically scarring and terrible to make a mother do, and I felt like they kind of removed that aspect from I feel like George R. R. Martin gave them like on a plate, like they gave them such a good scene on a plate, and they kind of removed aspects of it that made it interesting and memorable, I guess. It definitely doesn't have the same emotional impact or psychological impact as I don't know, in the book as it would have been. So yeah, you're right that they kind of did keep some aspects of the Sophie's Choice, but they removed so much that it doesn't have as much impact in my opinion.
I do agree with you that it's less traumatizing for one character specifically, and that's Alicent, because in the books, Alicent is there. Right. And here, they just gave her a booty call to occupy herself with, which, okay, what the fuck ever. I'm wondering if the reason they removed Alicent was not because they're giving her something to do or someone to do, but also because Alicent has to be that one character who is still trying to vie for peace even after all of this. Because hasn't that been her one thing where she's always trying to like somewhat settle this, but still she wants to have her cake and eat it too. She wants to have her son on the throne still, her side on the throne, and have Rhaenyra still be alive. So I'm wondering if that's why they removed her. Because if she was there in that room and she saw what they were doing, oh no, that goes out the window.
You're totally right. You're totally right that they would you're totally right that if she was there, it would be kind of like past the point of no return where she would ever forgive Rhaenyra. And you're right that like maybe they're pushing that down the line a little bit more, because you're right that like her whole character, especially this episode, is like that she wants to avoid outright war. Like you're right that she wants to put Aegon on the throne and Rhaenyra to abdicate, but also she doesn't want there to be like blood. Like she doesn't want there to be death, and because she loves Rhaenyra as like a friend, and cares about her. Yeah. You're probably right. That's why they removed her from the scene.
And I have a theory about this, because Daemon is a bastard, that motherfucker. There's no way, because Daemon, everybody has to know how skillful Aemond is. There's no way that's a secret, unless he doesn't go to tourneys or whatever. In fact, I think in the last season, Criston Cole, when he's training with Aemond after his glow up, he goes, "My prince, you could go to tourneys pretty soon." And Aemon's, ever the edgelord goes, "Why fight in tourneys when I could fight for real?" I'm like, oh, you're so lame. But maybe the wider audience, the wider populace doesn't know that he's a skillful person when it comes to like sword and whatnot. And I think even Preston said in the stream, or was it you, that Aemon's the type of guy that sleeps with like a knife in his hand, Yeah. So, but I mean, Daemon had to have known that he's sending these two guys to their death if they're going to go find Daemon. I feel as though maybe I'm giving Daemon too much credit. I feel as though Daemon was purposely sending these assholes to their deaths to send a message to the Greens that we can get you whenever we want. Sleep with one eye open. Because if you can't feel safe in your own home, that fucks with you.
Yeah. In like the Red Keep, in like the capital of the kingdom and stuff. Yeah, that you're not safe there. Yeah, like his plan was that okay, if that's like his plan, maybe they'll reveal that in the next episode or hint at that. I like that, because the plan wasn't really well thought out. It was because it was just like, if you find Aemon, because you're right that this random gold cloak guy and Cheese, the rat catcher, are probably not going to be able to kill Aemon. Like Aemon seems like a very good fighter, like on par with Criston Cole. So like it's very unlikely that random gold cloak and guy that probably has no experience fighting would defeat Aemond, unless he's like. But that's the thing, is
that's
like
my theory at least.
Aemond is the type that I would believe he has like a sword at his like in his bedroom, like waiting, because he's crazy in an anime villain.
So I wanted to. By the way, I'm not trying to like change your mind on Blood and Cheese, because I do agree. Like I think even Ryan Condal said like the way he wanted to do it was a botched assassination attempt, and these are just two like random guys. Because in the books, at least Cheese seems like a seasoned killer and a seasoned assassin, because he gets away. Right? It was Cheese that got away. I always mix the two up.
Yeah, Blood gets caught. And tortured, and then Cheese gets away. And like Cheese is like, the dialogue that he says, like he is like straight up like embodiment of evil. Like he's somebody who's like a sadist. As opposed to in this, where both of them are not like they're kind of stupid, and like they're not used to doing this. Like Cheese in the books is like a more sinister character. As opposed to like goons or like thugs, I do agree with you on that. Like I wanted Cheese to be like a sinister piece of shit person, and frankly, as someone who loves animals, him kicking the dog, I mean, he might as well be like fucking Satan reborn, but to me at least. Do you mind if I read you the passage from Fire and Blood about this whole situation? Yeah, sure.
Amidst the stews of Flea Bottom, Prince Daemon's go-between found suitable instruments. One had been a sergeant in the city's watch, big and brutal. He had lost his gold cloak for beating a whore to death while in a drunken rage. The other was a rat catcher in the Red Keep. Their true names are lost to history, but they are remembered as Blood and Cheese. Cheese knew the Red Keep better than the shape of his own cock, which they kept that in the show.
Hey, yeah,
Mushroom tells us. And the hidden doors and secret tunnels that Maegor the Cruel had built were familiar to the rat catchers as to the rats he hunted. Using a forgotten passageway, Cheese led Blood into the heart of the castle, unseen by any guards. Some say their quarry was the king himself, but Aegon was accompanied by the king's guard wherever he went. And even Cheese knew of no way in and out of Maegor's holdfast, save over the drawbridge that spanned the dry moat and its formidable iron spikes. The Tower of the Hand was less secure. The two men crept up through the walls, bypassing the spearmen posted at the tower's doors. Sir Otto's rooms were of no interest to them. Instead, they slipped into his daughter's chambers, one floor below. Queen Alicent had taken up residence there after the death of King Viserys when her son Aegon moved into Maegor's Holdfast with his own queen. Once inside, Cheese bound and gagged the Dowager Queen whilst Blood strangled her bedmaid. Then they settled to wait, for they knew it was the custom of Queen Helaena to bring her children to see their grandmother every evening before bed. Blind to the danger, the queen appeared as dusk was settling over the castle, accompanied by her 3 children. Jaehaerys and Jaehaera were 6, Maelor 2. As they entered the apartments, Helaena was holding his little hand, calling out their mother's name. Blood barred the door and slew the queen's guardsmen, while Cheese appeared to snatch up Maelor. "Scream and you all die," Blood told her grace. Queen Helaena kept her calm, it is said. "Who are you?" she demanded of the 2. "Debt collectors," said Cheese. "An eye for an eye, a son for a son. We only want one to square things. Won't hurt the rest of you fine folks, not one little hair. Which one of you want to lose, your grace?" Once she realized what he meant, Queen Helaena pleaded with the men to kill her instead. "A wife's not a son," said Blood. "It has to be a boy." She's warned the queen to make a choice soon, before Blood grew bored and raped her little girl. "Pick," he said, "or we'll kill them all." On her knees weeping, Helaena named her youngest Maelor. Perhaps she thought the boy was too young to understand, or perhaps it was because the older boy, Jaehaerys, was King Aegon's firstborn son and heir, next in line to the Iron Throne. "You hear that, little boy?" Cheese whispered to Maelor. "Your mama wants you dead." Then he gave Blood a grin, and the hulking swordsman slew Prince Jaehaerys, striking off the boy's head with a single blow. The queen began to scream. Okay, so definitely more traumatizing in the books. But my question is this. Do we need to go extra traumatizing? Because the main point is to give us a son for a son. Okay, fine. But do we need to go extra, crazy with the killing of children?
You're going to make me look so bad here. You're going to make me sound like a...
No, please, go for it.
I don't know. It's what the people come for, I guess. Because, I don't know. They were. I remember them hyping this up as, this is going to be like the Red Wedding, this is on the same level of memorability and horrificness, and I don't know if this is a super memorable version of the scene described in the books. It's definitely not better than the scene in the books, or even on par, with just its memorability and the impact that you feel. But I think people feel differently. I don't know. I think people brought this up, that maybe the fact that I've read the books and knew it colored my opinion. So maybe my opinion is kind of jaded in that way. So, but I don't know. This show has a reputation of being so dark and gruesome. We were talking on the stream where the first episode of season 1, there's a horrific C-section and
right.
People's brains getting bashed out. And then even I watched episode 10 of season 1 before this one, and they have Rhaenyra's stillbirth, and it's really gruesome, and you see the whole thing, and it's just so horrific. And you see
that's why I'm wondering if Sapkowski was the showrunner who pushed for that, and Condal was like, let's tone it back, and he's like, nah, bitch, let's get it in there. That's why I'm wondering, because remember, in season 1 had 2 showrunners. Now we only have 1. It's only Ryan Condal. He's the king of the castle now.
You're probably
maybe
right.
It was Sapkowski pushing it.
Because why have that random scene of Rhaenyra's stillbirth, maybe not random, but scene of Rhaenyra's stillbirth be more gruesome than what you see in Blood and Cheese? Because most of Blood and Cheese, another criticism I have is that the kids are asleep for most of it, and then a lot of the violence happens off screen, and Helaena leaves, she leaves the room, in a way, some people bring up that it's what you don't see that's more horrific and scary.
Oh yeah, Blood chops that kid's head clean off with his one strike of his sword. Here, these bumbling idiots have to saw the kid's head off, and you hear that.
Yeah, and that's horrific. Yeah. I don't hate. There's stuff to like in it. There's stuff to like in Blood and Cheese, but there's I don't think it's terrible. It's not terrible. I don't want to say that, but I don't know if it's as memorable, as strong as what I think I was expecting.
I actually agree with you on that. So, unfortunately, this is the internet. Just because I'm saying it's not terrible, people are gonna be like, "Well, you love it." Actually, no. I thought it was fairly okay. I'm not in love with it. I do agree with you that there are aspects of the scene that could have been better. I wish Alicent was there. I wish they weren't bumbling idiots. Like, I wish Cheese at least was a bit more sinister, because they got Blood down just fine. He does seem like a guy that would be, exactly as described in the books. Yeah. So I agree with you on that, but when it comes to, I don't know, I have this policy especially on social media. I normally don't block people, and I'm sure you've seen me like talking shit to people all the time. The only times I ever block people is when they're sharing stuff with animal abuse or child abuse. I don't fuck with that, and you get an immediate block. So when it comes to like child abuse, I don't like that. So I guess for me, like this was fine. And what I keep seeing, however, is people wanting the gore, wanting like the whole thing exactly as it was in the books, and they wanted to see all of it. I'm like, guys, and I have seen people say that. I know people are going to say, what, really? Yes, people have said that. Not only that, though, I've also seen people say, Dave and Dan would have done the whole thing justice. I'm like, are we becoming like the Star Wars fandom now, where just because we don't like the new shit, now we're singing the praises of the old guys you all like to bitch and complain about? You know what I'm talking about, Trey?
Yeah. Like that. Yeah, I'm on your side too with the like. I don't really need gore. It's more like the fact that they cut out the psychological scary stuff about it.
I agree.
Like, yeah, because you're right. In the books, there's like this morbid thing about Cheese where he's like, they could easily kill Helena or Alicent or all the children, but for some reason they chose only to kill one of them. Like that, there's something scary about that, where like they have like this weird, like Cheese at least has like this weird perverted sense of like justice. Like, we're only here to kill one son. I don't know. Like like it's the psychological impact of it's been taken out a little bit. But yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, I don't need the gore. But I know what you mean. I saw what you meant about like people asking for Dave and Dan to be back. I think that's silly.
I don't know if you're too young to remember this, but when George Lucas came out with the prequels, I didn't realize people hated it until I got to college. I'm like, oh, everyone hates the fucking prequels? They're not my favorites, but Jesus Christ. And then later on, the fans actually made a song called George Lucas Rave Your Childhood. Yeah. And everyone's like, yeah, that song, it's my ringtone. And now the sequels came out, and they're like, please, George, come back. That's what I kind of keep saying with this conversation here. Like, you want Dave and Dan back?
You're 100% right. There's been a 180 on the prequels, especially people my age, like who were kids when the prequels came out, where they're like, no, the prequels are great, actually. Like, and the people, and the older people that hated the prequels or think the prequels are bad, have kind of like been pushed aside. And are people doing that with Game of Thrones now? They're making Game of Thrones revisionism?
Dude, I've seen several posts on Twitter, on Reddit. I know a lot of people are going to say, well, no, I've seen them on Facebook. I've seen them all over the place. I've seen people say, like, because it's when the leaks came out and they were reading it. They were reading the leaks. Because some kid went and they saw it and they like posted it, like, his shit on Twitter or whatever. And I've seen people... like, Dave and Dan would have done it justice. Like, guys. By the way, I'm looking at this article here where Condal, apparently he aimed to make Blood and Cheese sequence feel like a heist gone wrong, building suspense and dread as the assassins search for Aemond. The scene was crafted from the perspective of the assassins, unlike the books, which focus on Helena and Alicent's views. This choice aimed to intensify the suspense as the assassins navigated the Red Keep. I'm surprised Preston didn't call out how they like go through the sewers, and when they come out, their pants aren't wet. Because he's that nitpicker. He's that nitpicker, and I'm surprised he didn't call that out. Whatever.
See, I just don't like. Yeah, you say like what Condal says there. I just don't agree with his decision. I just don't think that's the right decision. I disagree with him. Like I think that takes the impact away from the scene. I just don't agree with it. I think that was just a bad decision on his part. But that's okay. Yeah, it's his vision, his director vision or whatever.
Of course, like I'm middle of the road because, like, on one hand, like, yeah, I agree with you. It could have had more of a traumatizing thing on the characters, but on the other hand, I don't want to see kids go through that. Like, I have to be in the middle on this because,
But hey,
you know,
look, they decided to adapt a George R. R. Martin property. George R. R. Martin's a very fucked up man. like it kind of comes with the territory. Like, I don't know, me and Preston had read all of his like stories, like every single one of his stories before A Song of Ice and Fire, and like he can be a very deeply messed up man where he can write just horrific things and things that like you hear it first and then he writes it and then you read what he wrote and it's even more horrific when you actually read how he wrote it and stuff. So it's like, I don't know, if you're gonna adapt a George R. R. Martin story, like you got to be okay with, I don't know, being a little fucked up because that's George R. R. Martin. That's what his strength is, unfortunately, or fortunately.
True. Yeah. Oh, by the way, I also to the people saying Dave and Dan would have done it justice. There's a moment in I was either Feast or Dance. I'm gonna go with Dance. There's a moment where Theon is trying to sneak out of Winterfell. Bolton controlled Winterfell, and he meets with the fake Arya / Jane Poole, and Jane alludes that Ramsay has her engage in illicit relations with his. I'm being trying to be very friendly for you two, by the way. You know, fuck around with the dogs. Dave and Dan didn't do that. Not to Sansa. Yeah. So, like, yeah. Or the moment where Arya's groped in the Mercy sample chapter, like. Dave and Dan didn't do that. Or all the crazy stuff that happens in Harrenhal with the Mountainsmen. The Mountainsmen specifically, those fuckers. Dave and Dan didn't allude to any of that shit either, so...
Yeah, it's... And for a lot of those things, that's for the better. Because I think
better, yes it is.
Can go just too dark, and then things... There's you can write something dark in a book, and it just, I think it won't translate to movie or film. Like, I'm a huge fan of Cormac McCarthy's Blood Meridian, if you know that book.
Why does that sound so familiar?
It's like a Western. It's a very dark. It has the Judge Holden. It's got like the big fat guy.
Wait a minute. Is Cormac McCarthy the guy who wrote The Road?
Yes. Yeah, he wrote The Road.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, he passed away recently. May he rest in peace. But Blood Meridian, let me see this.
Blood Meridian
set in the American frontier with loose content. The narrative follows a fictional teenager from Tennessee, referred to as the Kid, with the bulk of the text devoted to his experiences with the Glatton Gang. Of course, a historical group of scalp hunters who massacred American Indians and others in the United States-Mexico borderlands. Jesus, Trey.
It's on a very dark period of history, and then he makes it even darker with his characters and stuff. But the thing is, it's a very dark text. It's very and the scene with the Comanches is very disturbing. The Jakes, the scene in the outhouse is disturbing. But like, I don't think it could ever be like properly adapted, because like there's describing something horrific in text versus then showing it visually, and I don't know if it would have the same impact. This is two different mediums, so maybe, and I think that's with George R. R. Martin's work sometimes, where it just doesn't translate. Like it's a restriction of the medium. But yeah, I don't know where I was going with that.
No. Thank you for letting me know that. So okay, we got Blood and Cheese out of the way. Awesome. Yeah. The other moment I had a problem with is the Winterfell stuff. So first and foremost, my issue here is you take us to fucking Winterfell. You take us to the north, and you don't take this opportunity to show us a scene in the Godswood. Oh, when they were doing it all the time in the Red Keep last season. What the fuck? And you and Preston, ever the nitpickers, you guys, but you're not wrong. In the books, for those of you who don't know, a trip from Winterfell to the Wall, when it's not like heavy snow, takes like a couple of weeks to get up there. You're telling me that Jace arrives on Winterfell on Dragonback, which we don't get to see, bullshit, and then he rides with Cregan up to the Wall to have this one conversation they could have had at Winterfell. They wasted time doing this. And even the time doesn't add up, because it's been, maybe 1 week? A couple of days since the end of season 1, episode 10. I'll have to check on that. But still, they spend weeks going up to the wall to have this bullshit conversation with lore that makes no sense. Because who was it? It was you or Preston who brought up the Inn of the Kneeling Man.
Oh, yeah. Where, like, he says that Torrhen Stark knelt at the wall to Aegon the Conqueror, which makes no sense. I don't know why Torrhen Stark would be at the wall or Aegon would be at the wall. Yeah, that a lot of the North didn't make any sense, because we were talking with, like, people in the comments were like, no, Jace visited Cregan in Winterfell. He flew to Winterfell and then arrived on foot with Cregan at the wall, which makes no sense. Or alternatively, he met Cregan at the wall. Like, Cregan was just hanging out at the wall, but we don't see his dragon, and we see him walking in on foot, so that doesn't really work. Or the third option is Cregan and Jace ride his dragon together and go to the wall for like a short trip.
That's what I'm thinking. Like they rode the horse. They went with the caravan of Night's Watch guys, and they rode there together. So, okay, fine. But the way I read that scene was, okay, the reason they're fucking with the lore is because maybe Torrhen Stark, the king who knelt to the first Aegon, maybe Aegon, because remember, according to Viserys, Aegon had a dream about the Song of Ice and Fire. And so maybe Aegon spoke to Torrhen about it, and maybe Torrhen was passing it along. Okay, that's cool, that's fine.
Yeah.
And maybe they visited the wall, and, because Aegon wanted to see the wall, Aegon wanted to see what keeps the darkness out in his dreams. Okay, fine. What doesn't make sense is, why doesn't Ned Stark know about that?
If that's like family history.
I mean, look, it's been passed down from king to king, from all the way up, from Aegon all the way up to Viserys, and then eventually to Rhaenyra. So, okay, fine. But how come that didn't happen with Cregan? Because we know Cregan in the books, we know he doesn't die. Well, he eventually dies, but we know he doesn't die from this war. So he could have written something down or passed it along. And as far as we know, there's not any like major crazy Stark civil war that happens where this information would be lost to time.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, if Torrhen knelt to Aegon at the wall, that should not be like hidden information. Like, that's big historical detail that everybody would know. All the maesters would have written it down and stuff. Are we talking about the dream? Or maybe the dream, because the dream is. Oh yeah. Because the dream, you're right that the dream, it was just passed from king to king, right? It was like Aegon to, I guess, Aenys or Maegor.
Yeah, Aegon had a dream, and I guess he inscribed the prophecy on his dagger and like passed it, not only the dagger, but also the prophecy along to every king, along to the next king that came along, and told him to do the same, so on and so forth. In regards to kneeling, you could argue maybe that motherfucker knelt twice. Like, okay, fine. Once at that first location, and again at the wall. Like, okay, like
it takes away from it, though. It takes away from it, because the whole point is that it was very, very hard for Torrhen Stark to kneel, right? Like, he was like, I don't want to kneel. So, like, him kneeling, being the only king in the Seven Kingdoms that knelt, because all the other ones died or surrendered or whatever. It was he knelt without a fight. It was like this big impact. Him having to do it twice, like Aegon just being an asshole. It's like, yeah, can you do it again here? That would just be so stupid.
That's what I'm thinking. You know what's funny? They're probably going to answer this, or if they won't, oh my god, they're probably going to answer this during the Aegon's Conquest movie that they're cooking up.
Oh man, maybe you're right that they probably will adjust to the new lore. It takes away, changing the lore takes it away, because the whole point was that Torrhen Stark, he assembled all his northern forces, and he was going south, right? He was going he went over the neck and went into the Riverlands, and he saw Aegon and his sisters on the dragons, and was like, okay, I give up. Like, right? Like, he was about to fight. So him being at the wall and then surrendering makes no sense, because like, why is Aegon? That's
what I'm thinking. Like this motherfucker knelt here and then back at the wall again once Aegon told him like the dream. That's what I'm thinking.
Okay, yeah, okay. Maybe they'll explain it. I was more disappointed that they didn't have Jason and Cregan make out or something like that. There was so much tension in that scene.
Was there so much tension? I didn't notice anything. I'm also surprised people are upset over blood and cheese. I guess all the blood and cheese is taking away the attention from Sarah Snow, because the fandom loves the theory behind Sarah Snow and Jace getting together, having like a secret Targ bastard baby, laying eggs, because that was like the whole thing. People were upset about the potential of not getting Sarah Snow in the show. But I guess, blood and cheese took away from that, which, okay, fine. Is anything else you want to touch on in regards to the northern scenes?
Yeah, because you're right that like the attachment that Jace and Cregan had to each other, it would have more impact like if they had more of an attachment to each other, because Cregan goes on to like fight for Rhaenyra and stuff. So like I kind of was hoping that there was like a deeper emotional attachment to Jace or something like that. That Cregan met Jace and was like, I really like this guy, and I guess that's what they did. But they only had like one scene, so. I would have spread it out over maybe 2 or 3 scenes of them like really befriending each other, because in the books they talk about like how like Cregan, Jace reminds him of his brother who died recently, so there was like a deep kind of connection, and then like the Sarah Snow kind of stuff like makes it that like they're related by like blood now, or at least through marriage now. So like I wish there was a little bit more scenes of him in the North to really, I don't know, stretch out that relationship, emphasize it more, or just they removed Sarah Snow and they had a subplot with Jace and Cregan being in a relationship, and that's why he supports Rhaenyra so much. I don't know, something like because later they kind of glaze over the Arryns, right? The Arryns take Rhaenyra's side as well, and that was just a one-line sentence.
I wanted to see him meet Jane Arryn, because she's played by another Raised by Wolf cast member, the woman who played Mother. Just like how Abubakar Salim, who played Father, is also in this episode, who plays Alan. So I wanted to see him meet Jane Arryn, but I guess we still will. We did see promotional pictures of her, and I hope they didn't like cast that aside as like some deleted scene bullshit, because they did quite a few deleted scenes for season 1, Alicent's wedding to Viserys, like that was like a whole deleted scene. There's also a deleted scene where Alicent, I guess, was telling Rhaenyra how she has a crush on Kristen Cole, and that just, I guess, fell apart for whatever reason. So, but yeah, I wanted to see him meet Jane Arryn and then fly over there and hit up Cregan Stark. The other thing I wanted to talk about briefly on the topic of Kristen Cole and Alicent, what the fuck was that? Where'd that come from? I never got that. I never got the implication that they were like doing a thing.
Yeah, me neither. I'd need to rewatch season 1 because it was like so long ago, but I did not like. She had I guess they kind of like had a crush on each other when they were like young, when they like had the different actors or actresses. But I never got that too. It kind of came out of nowhere. Now they're having a lot of sex. If you saw like the promo for the season, they're having more sex. Like they had two sex scenes in this episode, and now they're having more when they're at war. I'm like, come on, we got stuff to do here.
We got stuff to do.
We gotta fight this war.
Yeah. I'll be very real with you. I think I speak for a lot of men when I say it should have been me. It should have been me, not you, Cole. Fuck you. It should have been me. However,
she's gorgeous. The actress, the Alicent
beautiful,
actress is amazing.
Absolutely beautiful. But here's the thing, though. Fuck that asshole Cole, because what a hypocrite. He had a problem with Rhaenyra, and like now it's okay with Alice, bro. Like, come on.
It's such it's so hypocritical. I know. Oh, yeah. Like, and I guess maybe that's how you're supposed to feel kind of frustrated with that. Like, oh my gosh, this is rich. Yeah. It gives them something to do. It gives them more character. Because that's the problem with the source material is like Alicent in particular, and Kristen Cole in particular. Oh my gosh, have nothing to do for the entirety of like the dance. So I guess it makes them a little more, because I guess they have their mutual hate of Rhaenyra, right? They kind of like hate Rhaenyra. So they're like, I hate Rhaenyra. So
they hate Rhaenyra for this like one thing she did, but then they're doing like, fuck you guys.
It gets a reaction.
You know what this episode really made me feel is some sympathy for the Greens, which is good. You want to feel conflicted because in season 1, Aegon was an asshole. He was a piece of shit. In fact, one of the first times we're introduced to him as an adult, he sexually assaulted that one girl, the maid. And she has to be made the tea and so on and so forth. Here, he's on a 180. Like, he's like a nice, charismatic, decent father. Like he's hanging out with his boys, trying to hang out with his kids.
That actor did an amazing job of making this character likable. Like he had his work cut out for him, and he succeeded. Like he was, it's like his scene on the throne room was really, really fun. Like, oh my gosh, yeah, because he and then like him taking his kid to work, and being a nice father. Yeah.
You know what? That's actually
weird.
a good point.
It's weird that they got me to like him.
Upcoming dads, pay attention. Taking a kid to work, it puts you on there as a good father. Unless you're like Preston, who works for the CIA and has to destabilize Southeastern nations. Don't do that. Then don't take your kid to work. But other than that, take your kid to work. But dude, honestly, I love small council scenes. I feel like everybody does. And the next best thing in small council scenes is this fucking guy taking petitions from the small folk. That was, I forgot to put it in my review, but that's also one of my favorite scenes in the entire episode, hands down.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was that, for me, it was that, and then the very emotional scene with Jace and Rhaenyra, like, grieving over the death of Luke. Like, yeah, that scene's great. There were a lot of great scenes. Like, I did like the episode. I poo-pooed the blood and cheese, but it is a good episode, Like, I liked what they did. Like, it's extremely well acted, like... I don't know, the whole cast just has like really, really good performances.
This is something Press and I brought up on a previous podcast episode about how there is no bad cast member. In the first couple seasons of Game of Thrones, there's always one guy here and there, whoever it was. But there's no one bad actor or actress on this show. Everyone does a phenomenal job. Specifically, for me, my MVP of the episode was Jace, because thank God they got rid of his, I called it the Eastern European Uber driver haircut. Yeah, that stupid wig looking thing. But I hope that's his natural hair, because my man, like, you looking good. And every scene he's in, he's great.
Hair. Yeah, also, my favorite actor of this show, I was surprised. I really like Otto. I just really like the Otto actor.
Otto Hightower,
because he's like Star Trek fan. He's like Tywin, but like kind of like tired. Like he's like tired Tywin. Because I just think of like the scene where he goes into Rhaenyra's room and he's just like, fuck. He like slams his freaking folder down on the table and like fills up a glass of wine, and he's just like, he's like, hate this Aegon kid. Giving people sheep and giving smithies honest wages. Like,
By the way, speaking of Rhaenyra, because you mentioned her, she had no lines this entire episode other than "I want Aemon Targaryen," and she did a fucking. Rhaenyra here was on fire. Emma Darcy, they did a great job. Great job this episode. Everyone just came to play. It was a good stage-setting episode. I think the only person who kind of suffered character-wise was Daemon. Daemon's just a piece of shit, but he literally is the rogue prince. And he said, we see that here. He, excuse me, he wants to go and attack King's Landing with Rhaenys, which, by the way, that's such a bad idea. She's clearly exhausted. The dragon needs to rest. And you want to go do that now? Like, my man. Oh, and by the way, Rhaenys.
Give her a couple hours.
Also, Rhaenys had phenomenal scene this time. I was telling you guys this on the stream. Her lines are usually reserved for like the trailer, like dragons and war between kins, so hateful. Yeah.
They hate women. It's they will never let a woman sit the Iron Throne.
Oh, exactly. and here it's like I needed to see my daughter's body before I could like really move on. I'm like, oh shit.
Oh yeah.
That's fucking Rhaenys. Let's fucking go. Everybody came out to play, and everybody just had a good time. I mean, The episode was pretty good. We covered the mixed reviews, but that's because the reviewers saw the first 4. And according to them, it meanders. I'm fine with this meandering. Like, if we keep having, like, the same stuff here, maybe throw in a little action, less Christian Cole. Like, I would be cool with this. I enjoyed everything here. Except Blood and Cheese. Yeah. Blood and Cheese, we've already covered that. But that aside, everything here was fucking great. On a scale from 1 to 10, what would you give it?
I'd give it a... See, here's the thing, is I should rate, because it's like, oh my gosh, like, we don't even talk about, like, the production value of, like, the sets and the all the environments and stuff, like, which is insane for a TV show. I don't know, because I watch X-Files and X-Files in the 90s. They're like, all right, we're gonna go out in the woods in British Columbia and film every episode there and have no production value. It's all on, like, the actors and the script. And then you watch, like, I don't know, House of the Dragon, and it's, like, insane how beautiful all the sets are, how great all the actors are. I'll give it like an 8 out of 10. Maybe 9.
You know what? Yeah,
I'm somewhere between that.
I was on a 7, but yeah, I'm getting up there. 7.5. Yeah, it was good. I would have liked maybe a bit. You know what? I even said this in my review. I can't say I expected a bunch of action because it's just a stage-setting episodes. But I agree. And in terms of production value, like, oh yeah, I already believe I'm in Westeros. Every time that whole whoosh comes on, I feel transported already. So, and the sound, the music is amazing. Did they get you in the feels like I did? Like I got in the feels when they played the theme from Game of Thrones. It's when they're overlooking the north.
Oh yes, yeah, with the crow flying or the raven flying.
Mm-hmm. The name of the song is called
I was like,
Goodbye Brother. It's when Jon is telling Bran goodbye while he's in a coma, and Catelyn just tells him fuck off.
It should have been you.
Oh, real quick before we hop off the north, because I'm okay. So Tom Taylor as Cregan, his accent.
Ooh.
What the fuck was that? Were you okay with his accent? Because
it was a little heavy. It was a little much. Like it was somebody trying to do a Jon Snow impression or a Ned Stark impression, as opposed to just somebody with that accent for me. And also Jace in that first bit, that first scene with Cregan, I thought his line reads were kind of weird. Like I don't think they were super super good, but he's great in other scenes in the episode and even later in that scene. But yeah, the accent of Cregan was a little. What does he say? He's like, in the north we got to like it's like something. It's like an impression I would do.
The Greybeards, they fight like Northerners. Like shit, like really? They fight like Northerners. I love every now and then, like when if I'm fucking around with Preston or I'm on Xbox with the boys or just hanging out with people, I'll bring out the Ned Stark accent. I'll feel the Dothraki when they teach their horses to run on water. The only person I think who's ever gotten it down, and I don't even think they were doing a Ned Stark impression, but remember in season 6, that the guy that plays young Ned Stark, he plays Elrond in Rings of Power. Like,
oh yeah. He did a pretty good job, yeah.
He did a great, like, and now it begins. No, now it ends. Like, that guy. I love, I don't even know his name, but I know that line very well. Like my own cock. Like, I of course.
Is that guy on Cameo, like how the Rhaegar actor's on Cameo? We can hire him.
Yo, how much is the Rhaegar actor on Cameo? Hold on. Now
he values himself. It's too much. Whatever it is, it's too much. Cameo, let me see this. Game of Thrones.
Will Shodling.
Like it's in
Shodling. Let me see this. Wilf Shodling. Let me see this. There's no way. Like I remember looking at it last time. It was like $100-something. There's no way this motherfucker. Hold on, I gotta look this up now. Now
if I see that and I'm just like, fuck you. Like what an asshole. You can get the crab eater for $19. Yeah, crab eater values himself at $19. How much does this guy value himself?
Crab eater had no fucking lines, did he? It's at $19. He's just gonna look at me like, ugh. Like, what is he gonna do?
The Prince of Dorne, the new Prince of Dorne values himself at $30.
Bro,
30.
you fucking sat there and looked like Oberyn in like an interview from like behind the scenes. He studied Pedro Pascal's like mannerisms and just did that. That's $30, my dude. Guys, come on. Preston is like easily $50. Get Preston to say whatever bullshit you want him to say. Hold on, who's the Viserys actor?
I think he took himself down. I think he took himself down.
I would. Fuck him.
I would. You can get Roz, the sex worker, for $69. Yo, she's awesome.
On Cameo or
that's
OnlyFans?
Awesome.
That depends.
On Cameo, she set it at $69. She rocks. She knows what she was doing with that.
You know what? I respect it. Go ahead. I respect that shit. But no, I think I'm with you. Like a 7, 8, it's there. It's there. I had a fun time. Someone was trying to explain to me like this was a green-centric episode. No, this was an episode focused mainly on trying to make this even more tragic than it is, because clearly there are no villains here. Everyone is just grieving. It's a tragedy. Yes, you have assholes on both sides, like Daemon and Aemon, of course. But Aegon, not a bad guy. He likes to fuck around. He likes to hang out. Also, fairly decent father. Fairly decent king from what we saw in the petition scene. Rhaenyra clearly grieving, like this last season. Would you say Aemon killing Luke was a misunderstanding?
Yeah, after rewatching it, it was a mistake. Like it's clearly made out to be a mistake on Aemon's part, where whatever is going on with the dragon with Vhagar. Like, he lost control of Vhagar, and Vhagar killed Luke at least for Aemon, it was an accident. Like that's what I got, is that he pushed it too far. Mm-hmm. And he was just meaning to scare or like maybe hurt Luke. But he didn't mean to kill him. And like, there's that shocked expression on his face where he's like, no, Vhagar, no, listen to me. Yeah, so it's like it was pushed beyond the point of no return, by accident. Like he lost control. Like yeah, and maybe like we know like the book stuff where dragons read your subconscious, like it's like a psychic link. So maybe it was like subconsciously he wanted Luke to die, but in reality he didn't want him to. So maybe, yeah. And this is like even further. Like now it's like. This can't be healed. Like you killed a baby. You can't go back on this. And I had a whole video on this about how the dragon taps into you psychically, and it can understand your emotions, and sometimes overtake that, and what you really want goes to them, and then they act out on it, because Luke's Arrax also fights back on Vhagar, and Luke's like, no, Arrax, don't. So yeah, or maybe it's the Maester conspiracy. Maybe I rewatched that scene. They did keep the fact that Boros Baratheon like can't read, so he has the Maester come out and read for him and whisper in his ear. So maybe
so Ryan Condal, like he really is a book fan. He'll throw us like these little crumbs here and there that book fans will do the Leo DiCaprio meme from Once Upon a Time, where he'll go. Point at the screen. Yeah. Like we'll all fucking do that, because I don't know if you noticed in the small council scene, we got a mention of Dalton Greyjoy.
Oh yeah. I hope we see Dalton Greyjoy. I don't think we will, because it adds another layer to the dance where like, because the two sides are fighting, the small folks suffer because Dalton Greyjoy sees an opportunity in it, like to have the old way. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you're right that's a bone for the fans, unless they show it. I don't know, because most of the Dalton Greyjoy stuff is pretty unrelated to the rest of the dance. Like he's reaving in the Westerlands for most of it, so you don't really get to see him, and it's only after the dance that they really fight back. Like they invade the Iron Isles and stuff. Speaking of like for book fans and stuff, what do you think of the intro, the tapestry thing?
It's better than the season 1 intro, but I'm still like not impressed. It looks messy. Like, were you able to like decipher anything? Because I had to like increase my brightness.
Yeah. I had to pause, and like for some things, like multiple things look like it. Like I mistook Aegon sitting on the Iron Throne for Maegor dying on the Iron Throne. Like it's very, and it's a little gross. Oh no, not gross. It's the CGI is not great on it, and it's like too busy. It's too busy. Everything happening on screen, so you can't really appreciate it. Like it would be cool if they had like a real tapestry. Like think about that. They had like instead of like a CGI tapestry, it's like this like old lady. They zoom in on her hands and she's like manually weaving in the tapestry stuff. I don't know. Maybe that wouldn't work. Yeah, because they showed like the Doom of Valyria, right? With all the volcanoes.
I'm looking at it now, so like, yeah, I see here. It's like all the lords kneeling, and then like Maegor, you can easily see him because the blade's going through his neck. Then Jaehaerys and Alysanne, and you see like the faith, the symbol of the faith right there. And then old King Jaehaerys and the Council of 101, and then it goes to Alicent in the green dress. That's very striking, and all the attendees, and like it's fine. Like I don't understand this. Like why are we not going back to the map? And I would have loved with the map.
Right, the map's cool.
The map's cool. I would have had with them like take the Game of Thrones map and like do Valyria. It's crumbling apart. Have streaks of blood on that same map. Go all the way to Westeros. And then split off into 3 ways, and then like slowly conquering everything. You go to the Vale, you show the Winterfell, you show the Lannister, like you show all this stuff, and slowly over time, they bind it in blood and fire. Like why the fuck not? I don't know.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
But at the same time, though, if they do something different from season 3, I won't hate it because at least they're doing something different every time, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Like I don't hate it. And it's something cool to look at. It's better than last season with the stupid gray blood trickle, that kind of stuff.
On the stone, yeah.
On the stone. On the same sort of bit, like, did you see that people were taking screenshots of Helena's journals or walls and stuff?
No.
She's like drawing. Yeah, let me see if I can find it. I liked it on Twitter. Like there might have been an interview with the actress, or maybe like an extra thing. Let me see if I can send it on Discord. Where it shows her like little sketches. She's like sketching her visions, and like there's like and most of them make no sense. There's one that's like a boar tearing the head off a dog and stuff. And let's see, I need to have it right in front of me before I describe it. One is like a naked lady on fire, and some people are like, "Oh, it's Daenerys. She's seen visions of Daenerys."
Send it to me.
Yeah,
because
I'm trying to find it.
It would make sense if the boar was tearing apart the stag, because that's King Robert. Okay, fine. And the naked lady on fire. Okay, fine. That's Daenerys. But the boar on a dog.
Yeah, it might have been a wolf, Helena Visions. Let me see. I can't find it maybe it was somebody deleted the tweet, but where is it? Am I getting like gaslit? Did this not actually happen? No, I saw it. She got her little sketches. Sketches. I'm seeing like fan art now. Here it is. Yes. Here we go.
Send it to me on Discord.
House
here.
of the Dragon, Helena's drawings. Yes, here we go. My Wi-Fi's really bad right now. Here we go. View spoiler. Yeah. What's the context of these?
Let me see this.
Yeah. So there's like one that's like the Hightower symbol with crows holding knives.
The crows holding knives probably could be Jon.
Okay. Jon, yeah, crow. There's some decapitated wolves or dogs with a boar underneath it. And the boar is standing on a baby. Don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. Yeah, you're right that a stag would have made more sense with Bobby B getting gored. And then the last one is like there's clearly a burning naked woman on fire, and there's a dragon next to her, and then like an eye, a big yellow eye. Preston will have a field day with these, I'm guessing. I don't know what the context where this was. Was this like a promotion or something like that?
Where was this? Was this in the where did you get this?
This might have been in the promo.
Oh, then it might be in like a coming ahead then, because I don't remember this at all.
Harland. Like I see the word Harland there, and I see Queen and a whole bunch of letters. J, G, G, J, K. I see this. I see 666, the mark of the beast. I don't know.
Oh, Jesus.
With the, yeah, and there's definitely a boar. There's definitely a boar, and there's definitely some decapitated wolves. And a
So
boar
so
standing on a
the
baby.
decapitated wolves could probably be Robb and Catelyn.
Okay. Yeah, and the
So-
boar is strong boar from the book. Prequel phrase.
There's no way,
Prequel's, the reason Condal's given a deep cut here. He's getting
Like the
he's
boar.
getting
The boar.
merit fray.
The boar stepping on the child, like we'd need some super salutes for that. Like, yeah, I'll wait for Preston to
Yeah,
come
I
back.
don't know
Maybe he
what
can
that
make
means.
heads or tails of that. Which, by the way, he got dealt a major blow this episode because he was so convinced Larys was going to be
Blood and cheese.
Yeah, exactly. There's a second
Jeez.
blow. The first one was when he had Bookborn on and he was asking her about Quentin, and she goes, "He's dead." It's fucking. Poor Preston.
Look, me and Preston agree on a lot of things, but I think Quentin's dead. I think like, okay, I'm willing to admit that George definitely leaves it a little bit open with cutting off. Like George R. R. Martin totally changes his mind and will like backpedal like crazy and go like, no, like actually I changed my mind on this. Like he wanted Victorian to die, right? And he just like totally backpedaled on that and gave Victorian his own like plot, like this own plot where he's like now a main character in the East. And like, yeah, that's crazy. So George changes his mind and is totally willing to. So it's possible. But I think
I was about to
Quentin's
say
dead.
the same thing as you. I initially thought Quentin was dead, but now I'm open to the possibility because of what Preston says about George, that he does this all the time where he leaves stuff open just in case he wants to go back and do that, specifically because of the Vitarian thing, amongst others. So I agree with you 110%. Before we wrap this up, I wanted to show you the intro again. This is what I took a screenshot that I had to increase the brightness on. That's really cool,
yes.
but this is one of those like you'll miss if you don't like pay attention moments. Because, as you can see, it's Rhaenyra on one side and Aegon on the other, and you can see, like, the houses that support them on the side.
Oh yeah, I want to see him. I want to see him up close. Let me. It's still loading for me. If I can pick him out.
I can see Lannister and Hightower.
I can see Arryn. Yeah, I see Arryn. I see. On Rhaenyra's side, I see Arryn. I see. Oh God, what is the Sea Snake's house? The Velaryon house.
Mm-hmm.
And then it of course kind of like cuts off a little bit after that. And then I see Lannister on theirs. I think I see Corbray with the three ravens and the blood.
Hold on, I'm trying to get
Aegon's
it down
side.
to where I can see it, because eventually it like spans out. You get Beesbury. Fuck, like the moment it shows Beesbury, I want to pause, but it like goes to right the next scene. Here, Beesbury. Here's a better one.
It's
Sorry,
funny
bro.
that so we have the two hands underneath Rhaenyra and Aegon, and one hand has birds like ravens or something, and then the other hand has dragons. I don't know what the deal with that is, because both sides have dragons. Oh, let's see this. Oh, look, here we go. We got more full image here.
I can barely tell what I'm looking. I can make out Baratheon on the
Yeah.
green side, and I see Beesbury right there under Rhaenyra's yoke, but the other
Yeah.
ones, like it's
I think
it's,
I see
it's hard to tell.
Hightower. There's a
that-
this is there's like a lamb one. There's like a lamb with like a chalice. What is that? Oh gosh,
Stokeworth.
That's Stokeworth. Okay, Stokeworth is on Aegon's side. And then you can see on Rhaenyra's side is the yellow and black. Is that Beesbury? Is that what
That's Beesbury.
looks like?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then I don't know what's next to him. I don't know what that is.
You can
I like
barely
this though.
fucking
Like,
tell.
I really appreciate this. I appreciate this.
I
Ryan
appreciate
Condal.
it too.
Like, you
If I
didn't have
could
to do
fucking
this.
see it, like I would. You know what? If you don't want to do the map again, okay, fine. For season 3, how about a fucking storybook? You know, like where we can actually, where the pages are in our fucking faces and the pages turn and shit. Like, well, how about that? This seems very busy and it seems like super artsy. I like that, but I can barely tell what I'm looking at. Like, we need like like certain YouTubers to really zoom in on this with like some expensive equipment to like see what's going on here.
We need to do
ridiculous.
what they did with like the Unabomber when they were trying to catch the Unabomber, the FBI. They did this insane thing where like, you know, like how in TV shows where they say like zoom and enhance the image. And I was like, they can't do that in real life. That's so stupid. And apparently, like, I was watching like a documentary, and the FBI literally did that with like a piece of VHS camera of like the Unabomber's backpack. Like they literally zoomed and enhanced. I was like, what? You can do that? Like with like AI technology or something? And I was like, wow, that's amazing. So they should do it with this. You're right that I would love, because like this is a lot of work. Like a lot of work was put into this, and it's a shame that you can't see all of it. So like I would love a book that you can buy where you could see this image in high quality. I don't know. We're paying for HBO Max, you know, like give us a little extra feature or something. Because they did all the crazy shit. Did you see like they in New York City they like had like Vagar on like the Empire State Building and banners on the Brooklyn Bridge and stuff? Like they're spending a lot of money. They're shelling out money for this thing.
You know what's funny about that, homie? Like I keep getting people coming up to me a lot over in like the last 72 hours going, so when's House of the Dragon coming out? The fuck you mean? It's out Sunday. What do you fucking mean? Like, have you not been seeing the banners? What banners? Oh my god, bro. What do you have ad block on 24/7? Yes. Like, okay. That makes sense. There you go. Like you're relying on me to fucking tell you. Why are you relying on me? Because you do the Dragon show. That's fair. That's fair. I do the Dragon show. Real quick before I let you go, brother. Someone wanted to hit me up and was like, "Does it seem like Kristen Cole is in that relationship under protest?" You're right. He is. I'll take over. Stand aside, Cole. I'll take the heat for you, buddy. Because someone hits me up on Twitter and goes, "I don't understand why people aren't talking about this," and not Kristen Cole. He clearly is being forced into this relationship with Alicent. I recall her saying we have to stop this. So and like
I don't think she is, because people criticize Rhaenyra. People are like Rhaenyra because a while ago, I was like, I think I posted like, is anybody really like Team Green or something? But this is before the new season came out, because it's like, are you really Team Green? Like Aegon doesn't want to be a king, and like Rhaenyra is clearly the more competent one, or at least that's what we're supposed to like. She was trained by her father, and people are like, Rhaenyra is evil because she used her position of power to manipulate Kristen Cole into a relationship with her. So people doing this with Alicent now too?
I guess so. Look, once again, that sucks, man. That sucks. If Kristen Cole is having a hard time, I volunteer as tribute. That's all I'm gonna say. Oh, by the way, I'm sorry. I do this all the time with Preston too. Check this out. Look at this. Look at this. I'm not gonna say to the audience what it is, because you know how fucking left this can be. But look at that. See that? Look at my name. Look at my name.
I'm scared.
It's. What do you mean you're scared?
Oh yes, that's right.
Bro,
I don't know what you're. George R. R. Martin blocked you.
That's
not real.
It's not real. It's fake. Yeah, but I thought it was funny because my buddy sends it to me. He goes, "Dude, George R. R. Martin blocked you." I'm like, "What?" He goes, "Yeah, look." I'm like, "Wait, no. How would you see this? You don't have my account." Like, I thought it was funny, so I put it up on the thing. When are you gonna get that thing? By the way, the thing I'm showing you here. When are you gonna get that?
I don't know. This website is kind of going down the shitter after like every decision is like a bad decision. In my opinion.
It's a terrible decision. I feel like he's a psyop trying to.
Now they're taking away likes. Like,
I know.
What? Why are you taking away likes? That's like part of the draw of this website.
I know.
I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I have all these subscriptions. Like I have my like Adobe subscription, and then I pay a guy to do my background music and stuff.
You pay a guy to do your background music? Like, really?
Yeah. He's good. He's very good, and we're friends. We're buddies, and he's kind of like I don't want to get into it. So like I don't know, paying for a check mark is like another thing for me to think about.
Homie, you got to get off the Adobe thing. Have you seen like the most recent shit what they're trying to do?
What are they trying to do? I saw somebody complaining about it. I didn't look into it.
So
they upcharging people now?
No, it's worse. They're trying to basically say how any like future thing you make on Photoshop, they want access to it and they want rights to it.
Really? That is disgusting. They want rights to what I make on Photoshop?
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
I'll go back to GIMP. Yeah, I'll go back to GIMP.
No. Dude, I got you covered. I got you. I got a version I've been using for a long time.
That's ridiculous. I don't think they'll that they can, like, I think somebody will sue them or something like that. I don't think they have a leg to stand on with that. It's just such a weird claim. Like it's like somebody being like Procreate's another art program, like Procreate going like, yes, we own the art artists make on our stuff now. Or like somebody being like, you bought this sketchbook, we own the art in the sketchbook now. Like I don't get it. I think that's a silly idea. Dang. Photoshop. I know Adobe, I've heard people have a lot of problems with Adobe and they're probably very valid. I'm just like, so long as I can make my YouTube videos, I'm fine. Yeah. It's a business expense.
That's true.
You know, like I invest money into my videos and then I can, you know, I'm a business. I can put it on my taxes or whatever.
That's true. Are you putting HBO subscription on your taxes too? You definitely can.
I use somebody else's HBO. I use my parents' HBO subscription, so I'm a freeloader. But yes, I could do it if I wanted to, because yeah, I do media stuff as my job.
Before I let you go, we're in full blown House of the Dragon, Game of Thrones seasons. Do you have any plans to do anything House of the Dragon, Game of Thrones related as a video?
That's a good question. I'm like swamped with video stuff right now. I'd have to really have like an inspired idea, and because I love this stuff, and it would be really cool to like analyze. Like, yes, here is this like the tapestry, and analyzing everything in the tapestry. I might do it on Twitter or something, but maybe not on my YouTube. I'm just swamped.
Wait a minute, I thought Twitter was a shithole. I thought it was going down the shitter.
It kind of is. It's the other thing I'm famous on is the thing. It's like I got a fair amount of following on Twitter.
This is why I'm telling you.
I don't even know I'm a YouTuber on there.
I'm being an asshole to the audience. I apologize.
You're right.
Audience.
You make money, right? Can't you make money with
That's what I was going to say. You can.
Check mark?
It could totally pay for itself. And to the audience, I apologize. What we're talking about is I finally got my blue check mark on Twitter. Let me go into detail before the far leftists come after me. Coming up on the internet, and I'm sure Trey will back me up when I say this, there are marks that you've made it on like as an online business, as a content creator. Getting your plaque, your 100,000 plaque, that's a great mark. And then getting verified by a business, whether it's Facebook or Twitter, back in the day. The fact that everyone can buy a fucking blue check mark, that sucks. I've always wanted to like have it before Elon like came into it, because like that means like this business, this large entity is recognizing you as another legitimate business. Like that's fucking cool.
Right.
The fact that you can buy it is bittersweet. And after House of the Dragon is over, I'm probably not going to continue paying for it because, and I hate that this is a thing. This is how Elon's fucked with the algorithm. I get people's feeds in my feed that are blue check mark, but I don't follow them. But because I follow someone who follows that guy, it like totally ties in. So, and honestly, so I've been tweeting.
Do you feel about it like the in Incredibles, this syndrome? He says now that everybody's super, nobody will be.
Yes.
Or whatever. Like you feel that about the check mark.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
it's lost its weight.
Dude, this is bittersweet. Like if you go on my Twitter right now, I posted like 9-10 hours ago. Can we please stop complaining that Blood and Cheese wasn't as brutal as you wanted it to be? 35,000 views on that. Scroll down a little bit.
Damn.
Scroll down a little bit, and it's like, what, 76,000 views on, like, this one tweet about Aegon. And, like
yeah.
And like, 6,000 views on, like, the subtitle picture I put up of Allison quietly moaning. Like, it's, like, these are getting way more views than my shit normally gets, and I hate that. I hate that so much, but
and sometimes it's luck. Like sometimes I'll have a post that just like bombs. Like I'll make like a joke and nobody likes it. Not like, and I have like I don't know, like 80,000 followers or something, and it's like nobody liked it. So sometimes you do just like you hit strike gold and tons of people like it. But But yeah, it does look like the check mark does help with
the check mark helps. That's what I'm saying. You should probably get it because you pay once and then you tweet like you normally do. You do one of those like nice body posts you like to do, and you get the fucking million views on that. It pays for itself.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, because I just posted my face because I haven't posted a body post in a while. Because you're getting inside information. I have a scar. I had to get surgery.
Oh,
so
you okay?
Scar, so I'm less confident about my body.
What?
Yeah, it's fine. It was like it was like a shave biopsy. Like a dermatologist saw like a freckle or something. And he was concerned that it might be cancerous or something. It's not. It wasn't cancerous. But I do have a scar now, which sucks.
Where specifically? Am I allowed to know?
But I did post like. It's like on my like abdomen, but on like the front, which is annoying. Like it wouldn't be a big deal if it was like on my back or something like that.
Right.
Or like I don't know, my leg or something. But the fact that it's on like my abdomen, it's frustrating for me. It's something I've had to like accept. It's not big, but it's like annoying enough for me. But anyways, I haven't done a body post in a while. So
I'm gonna be real with you,
like,
homie.
a post with like. Yeah.
No one's gonna notice.
I know. That's the thing. The only person that notices is me, probably. But yeah, so it's me.
Trey, I've kept you for too long, my love.
Yes.
Thank you for joining me for this. Would you be down to join me again in the near future? Maybe for episode 2 or 3. I wanted to bring on my boy Bear on here because he's a casual viewer. He hasn't read the books in fucking eons. He's a big book reader, but he hasn't read these specific in so long, so he forgot everything. And as a casual, I was going to ask him, like, how'd you feel about Blood and Cheese? And he was telling me, like, oh, that was terrifying. I'm like, really? Like, you thought it was, like good, bad? Like, he goes, bad in, like, a good, like, it affected me way. So I wanted to bring on a casual guy. So if you want to join me for episode 2 or 3 or any of the future ones, I might bring him on, and you can be on with me and him. And, yeah, because it's nice to talk to casual fans, like, people who haven't really, like, dived into it.
Yeah, because you're right. Like, that would be interesting to hear his side, because I think I'm jaded. Like, maybe I'm too hard on Blood and Cheese because I'm a little jaded, and I've read what George made, and I know George is such a very talented writer and stuff. So I'm interested to hear what the consensus is on Blood and Cheese for casuals, because I'm not a casual. I'm a crazy person. Like, I'm a crazy nerdy book fan.
From what I see here,
I'm not the average person.
Well, I love that like casual fans, they watch the channel. They also watch Preston stuff as well, of course. And they do comment and say, like, that caught me off guard. That was intense. The only people complaining that I can see are book readers. In fact, I think in one of the subreddits, they were like, I can't believe the main House of the Dragon subreddit is not bitching about Blood and Cheese. Like, okay. Like, yeah, this one thing aside, like, everything was pretty good, like you and I said. I think I'm in agreement with you. For me, 7.58, it was a good stage setter. But do you mind if we wrap it up here?
Yeah, sure.
Guys, thank you so much for joining us. As always, we'll see you all next time. Have a good one.